Welcome, welcome, welcome to the weekly live stream for Brickworld. Think Outside the Blocks. I'm one of your hosts. Not on the left today, but Ben Z. Cerberus, the super silly sci-fi shipwright. We'll get into why we've got all those S's in a minute here. But welcome, of course, to our stream where we talk about thinking outside your mental blocks and the rigid Lego medium to build your own fun mocks. And of course, it would be no fun today if I was just talking to myself. This is not a Ben Solo edition. So if I bring up my show run here, you'll see that we're going to talk about the letter S today. And what better can I start with? The best S of them all, Mr. Simon Liu. Let's add Simon to the stage here.
Hi,
Hi,
how's it
Simon.
going?
Great. We're having a show here where we're going to talk about all kinds of fun stuff having to do with the letter S. And maybe you remember this mock. I'm going to bring it up here quick on the screen. From Brickworld this year. The Legos does not exist. Best humor. Of course, referencing the fact that lots of people like to refer to the things we build as Legos, but Lego, of course, is the brand. And so that build, the best humor built by Alice Lieber Cook, pulled the S off, and that S fell and tumbled and landed right on top of us today. So today's show, Sesame Street style, and I can see you've got a blue shirt on. I don't know if that's the infamous Cookie Monster shirt or not. It is. So S, of course, going to be our theme for today. So let me bring up that show run again. So we're going to talk about the letter S we just did. Simon, question mark, you are here. Shiptember, and then a couple other fun things that begin with S. Stickers, shows, snacks, and all the sci-fi months that are coming up. So let's get right into it. Simon, you're here.
I didn't realize the shirt was infamous.
I think it is. The Cookie Monster shirt, I don't know. I assume you have public access television or something similar in
Wait, have you seen me with a
Canada,
shirt
right?
before?
I
Or
have.
okay, so it wasn't like
Yep.
just like, oh, blue shirt. Okay,
No,
yeah,
no, I
yeah, I can
do.
see I probably have worn it in Chicago at some point. I do like the shirt. It is kind of getting a bit dated, but
Yeah.
it's vintage now.
So you're obviously aware of Sesame Street. So this week's
Yes.
episode brought to us by the letter S, and we're very excited for that. I was going to have you on a couple weeks ago when Mark was in Italy, but you couldn't make it because you were not feeling well.
No,
So
I got COVID and it sucked and basically took me out for like 2 solid weeks. Um,
and
so
and
yeah,
not the right time to be out, right?
no. This
Uh,
is usually my time to shine, because it is September, which is like one of the big sci-fi months. So not great that I got sick. Was kind of great because I got to play Starfield for a while, which is
oh,
a new video game that came
yep.
out. But no, it was very not good timing.
Yeah, I don't have any comments yet from the Tainted. They're usually in commenting pretty early.
Mm.
So we're off to a bit of a slow start today, but hopefully we'll get some comments rolling in here in
Did
a minute.
did you post in the Discord group that this?
That's usually Mark's job, but we've got
Mhm.
subscribers, we've got people that still show up.
Mark's
Regardless,
too busy with his regular day job of playing with Lego with no S.
yes, and I asked Mark, of course, they were in the
Grand
um,
Rapids.
Grand Rapids, and
Mhm.
they had their best opening show
Oh,
in
really?
Brickworld history. So very good attendance for the 3 days there. And we do have, of course, my favorite member of the Tainted, Lego Team B, saying, "Glad to see you back on deck, Simon." So we do have a few up in there. Okay, well, let's get rolling. Let's start with our second S, since we've already done this one. Simon, yes, he's here. He's
Mhm.
recovered. He's back. He's ready to rock and roll. And let's move to Shiptember. Again, our banner. 1 month, 1 ship, 100 studs. Shiptember, we're getting close to the end, but good news, both Simon and I are participating in Shiptember this year. Even with the slow start, Simon's been building. So let's get to it. How do you think the ships have been that have been posted so far in the group?
It's fantastic. Like this is the thing that has surprised me all like over the years is just how many people build and how incredible ships are and how innovative all these ships become. I think it's crazy that there are people that have this is the 10th anniversary or 11th year we've done it because the first year doesn't really count as an anniversary.
Not
But
an anniversary.
so yeah, but there are people that have done this 11 years and they're still coming out with fresh designs. Personally, this is my probably should count it. I think this maybe my 8th or 9th. I think I missed 2, maybe 3, for various reasons. But the just seeing it and like it's funny because I went from 2 weeks of doing nothing, a week where I basically could not do anything. Haven't really done Lego in a while. Kind of have been very burnt out doing a little build for Chicago and subsequent conventions for that, and like building a ship again was like it's just a joy because I haven't gotten to build a ship or like sci-fi stuff. Like the Cyberpunk was slightly different, and a lot of it was just like collab infrastructure things, which aren't really as fun as building a cool spaceship. So it was like really great to get back at building ships again.
I haven't seen any progress pictures posted on your end. Do you have one you want to show, or are you going to keep it under wraps till it's ready to
go? I don't think I posted in the group, which I'm bad, but I posted in our Discord server because so there's plenty of pics out there. You're right. I actually think I forgot to post it in Flickr, even though I created the group. Rules.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay.
I was so excited. I was so because like the problem is I don't have Flickr signed on to my phone anymore. So it's just so much easier Discord and Instagram. So like because I just want to go back and build. So yeah, okay. That is my bad. I will post some whips. But or now it's just gonna be a surprise for everyone.
Maybe yeah. I saw it. I saw it momentarily a minute ago. So I know you are working on it, and of course, I know you have missed other Shiptember months. I remember one a few years ago because you were sick, and even though you had the COVID, you're still making a run of it this year.
Yeah, I lost 2 weeks, but I think I can do it.
Yeah, so let's take a look at what I've been working on here.
Ooh.
Well, here's another big orange behemoth because this is how I roll. So here we are. We're moving to what I like to call the orange stage, where we just take the whole thing and fill it up with orange. You can see our live stream mascot Dot hiding in the ship here as well.
It's funny, like I forget which Shiptember, but I have also had my mascots for ships, and I kind of wish more people did that because it's pretty fun. To have a build buddy that just hangs out. I think mine was called Shippy, like Clippy or Wally, but Shippy. He was fun. But okay, so actually I have a question for you. Now I'm assuming a lot of people have thought or thought about asking you this do you keep your ships together? In other words, you always have the
fleet of doom. Yes, in fact, they are all together, which is kind of why, I always think every year maybe I should try a different design. Maybe I should go for something different. And I definitely do want to do that. And I think what I really want to do is go a completely different direction. Completely different.
Like color scheme or
completely different
style?
Both. I think for me, right, part of this is I'm drawn to this type of ship, sort of this modern or relatively realistic modern military design, things you might see in Halo or The Expanse or something like that. I'm really drawn to it, but it's not the only style of ship out there. And so I kind of feel like if I just change the color scheme, it might still end up looking a lot like this with just different colors. So really, the next thing I should do is wholly and completely and totally change the design and the color scheme. I do have this. Let me share this quick. Share screen, and we'll take a look at this one. Yeah, here we go. Share this. So this one here, you can see this was a while ago that I've built, I think, 2 more since this came out. But these pictures, I took new, fresh pictures, all at about the same distance from the camera, so I could sort of match them up into one big fleet picture. And obviously, there's some duplicates with some shrink sizes and whatever else involved.
Wait, so you didn't actually build a whole fleet of these?
Well, I do.
Some
I have the whole fleet, but you can see.
So
Yeah, there's a couple on here.
So you couldn't play, I don't know, like Battleship with this because it's not real.
Well, I could. It's just that you can see this particular ship shows up 3 times. I only have 1, unfortunately. This one shows up twice. Just have one of those as well. So, but I do have them all together, and they do occasionally make it to other shows. I tend to not bring the entire fleet to Brickworld, Chicago at least. I only like to try to bring the newest one. But for some of the
because you don't want to keep
shows,
winning so many awards with them, right?
Yes, I want to give someone else a chance, right?
Yeah.
No, I mean, really, it's just because, I like for that to sort of be a show for new stuff. But for expos and other ones where maybe you don't have the same crowd of AFOLs every year, sometimes it's fun to bring 2 or 3 or 4 ships in the fleet. Now, LEGO Team B was glad to see the ship today, so thank you, LEGO Team B. So we can move back over to that one here, or move my screen there and solo back over to this guy. The other thing to mention, and maybe you could have picked this out just by looking at it right here, but this guy, you inspired me by something accidentally on this one.
Oh.
And that is, you asked me, hey, when you build your ships, do they ever come apart? You were really talking about it in the context of it would be easier to move them if you built them in sections.
Yeah.
But I was like, actually, and you did build that tri-ship a couple years ago. I was like, I take that to mean I should build 2 ships that fit together. So that's what I've been working on here with this guy.
What?
So we'll pull off the back guy here and put it on its own little stand. And there we go. So that sort of working on the second ship now for Shiptember here.
Okay. The handles are a fantastic idea. The problem with my tri-ship is it's really hard to take apart.
This one not so much. Pretty easy. You said.
Yeah. I did not have the proper engineering, I feel like, when I was originally building and designing it. I'm very much into the making it look cool versus functional, which is always my bane.
Yeah. So we are going with a little something there. It also makes it a lot easier to work on the upper half, since I can just pull it off here and toss it on its own stand to get rolling with it. So
there'll be quite a few interesting ships next year that can separate.
Yeah, it's I don't know if it was your dream to make us all do this or not, but here you go, a little separating ship action. And I do like some of what's going on with this one, sort of the way I had to build it. It's got a very, very tight taper, so I think it's going to be quite pretty when it's done, but it's still definitely in progress right now.
Now remind me, how many years running have you won Best Ship?
For Chicago, I've only won twice, and they were not consecutive.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait.
I've only built twice for Shiptember, though.
Who won this year?
I'm not sure because I didn't bring one. It was all
That's
Castle
why.
this year.
That's why.
Yeah, I may
That's
have
nuts.
brought the ship with the computer inside of it, but that one had been there before, so it was not entered for any
Mhm.
awards.
Not that winning awards is that important,
It's not
or
everything, no.
it's not everything as people might think, but it is a
this,
nice carrot
yeah, this
to try.
one will come, assuming I can get it done in the
Mhm.
next 6 days.
I would be stunned if you didn't, sir.
No, I think I'll be able to as well. I don't know that I will have the lighting completed in this one, but I don't
Ooh.
think that's needed to finish September. So,
No, but it is definitely nice.
well, the bottom ship has the lighting. The top one, I am out of these bricks here. Let me solo that guy
Uh,
there.
have you seen like the magnetic? Oh, okay. So you're using life lights. I don't.
Life
Do they
lights.
have the magnetic, like the contact bricks, where like they're meant more for modulars, where if you stick a module on top, it connects it so that the power routes through.
That would
So
be
that's like
interesting. I suppose the only downside there is when I have the ship separated. You know,
it's not lit, but it's
it's
really
not
cool
lit.
when you put it
It
together
is,
and
yeah.
then it
You drop it
magically
on
lights
there and
up.
it magically
Like lights
lights
up.
up. Yep. But there we go. So that's where I am on September. Hopefully it'll be a fun ship when it's done. So let's see here. What do we got going on next? I'm gonna put us back on here and remove this guy, and let's check our show run. The next thing we've got going on for our S's, if you don't have any ship progress you want to show, is stickers. I want to talk about stickers. Now, you sent me something that I want to show here. Yeah, look at all
Oh,
those.
yes.
And that would be this here. Let's share the screen.
It's something that so I was never a big fan of using stickers, not because I was saving them, just I don't know if I don't want to ruin the part. So this was like back in, I think, I don't know, like 2012 or something. Like back in the day, I never used stickers until GARX, or the Galactic Asteroid Racing Circuit, which we debuted in Chicago, which was a micro space race thing. But we encourage everyone to sticker things to like an nth degree. If you notice, and here's like it's the exact same build. Technically, I guess the one on the left has a space trail or engine trail, but everything's the same. But one has stickers and one doesn't, and it opened up my world of, wow, you can do so much with stickers. And all of these are official Lego stickers. Yes, it's been knife of exact zeroed for some of them to get them on there. And you can even tell like some are like really sketchy, like that like flower thingy. On the left, it actually has a triangle symbol which is like literally just cut to fit over that circle area, which
Yep.
is not something you probably want to normally do. Just that's not, but because it's small, it's tough. And I think it's actually really interesting, as I now realize, I think this is the first time I've used bright light orange and teal as a color scheme. There's actually a kind of like interesting side topic. I was talking with some of the other Lego friends, is like what are like iconic color schemes for various builders. Like for Ben, I think at this point it's going to be like your Castle Gray, right?
Yeah.
Or I mean your
Orange and
orange
dark
and
orange.
yeah,
Mhm.
like that's your thing. Like for me, actually, let me ask you this: what is like the iconic color scheme for Simon in your mind?
Oh, that medium azure color, or teal even. I'm not sure which color it
It's
is. And
teal.
then the light bright orange
Hmm.
or whatever color it is.
Because the other answer, I don't know if you remember, is like I used to do olive and orange a lot.
You do, yes. And I've
I did. I
got a
haven't done it
mech here that's got the olive and orange. That's more of your
Do you?
modern. Yeah, I've got one here. It's half beat up, but I can pull it out. But this is the Simon tribute mech here, the olive and orange.
Yeah. So right, because that I did like a whole.
He's half taken
Oh.
apart. Let me solo myself here quick. So he's a little broken up, but here's the the Simon Tribute olive and orange mech.
It's
colors
missing
are pretty good.
stickers. It's missing stickers.
It is missing stickers. That is our topic.
Mm.
But you brought it up. So anyway,
Yeah.
back
But
to it.
yeah, so stickers are really adds a whole different layer to your build. Like as you can see, like the one on the right is still kind of cool, but one on the left is like, wow, look at all the stuff that's going on. Is it a bit of cheating? Like part of me is still, I won't use stickers to try to do like graffiti or anything, because I feel like that's cheating. Like if I can try to brick build graffiti or lettering, that is the way to do it. But getting some of these micro details and stuff, because like the other fun thing is when you start applying the stickers, the scale becomes much harder to decipher. Like if you're looking at this, you can tell it's only like 4 studs long. But if you just look at the one on the left, it feels so much bigger. Oh, I didn't remember like the 18 is literally one of like the sticker sheets that says this is the 18th sticker you're supposed to put on. Like it's not even supposed to be used, but you can still use it. Like
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I actually keep a lot of my old sticker sheets that have been chopped up because like, okay, what if I want to use the line? What if I want to use that? And yeah, I have problems.
Yeah. Well, and so here's sort of something interesting for stickers, right? They're the bane of a lot of people's existence. I think it's largely those who are more collectors, less so
Mhm.
those who do mocks. There are certain things where I would prefer printed.
Mhm.
For example, say a UCS plaque, right? Those things
Mm,
are
yes.
an enormous pain in the ass to put on. They wrinkle, they get dust under them. Everything else on top of that, are you going to use that sticker for anything else? Probably not. And they have started printing them, which is good.
Mhm.
But I think people really despise that. They'd rather have the printed tiles for ease of that. I'm not so sure that that's the stance that every mock builder takes. You and I both seem to be on the same page. I love sticker sheets.
Yeah.
I don't typically cut them. Maybe it's its own level of pureness or
No,
purism, where you
I
just use an existing sticker, but maybe you use it on a different place or location. Like
Mhm.
this one is the um, Lego Movie Benny Spaceship sticker sheet. I've used this
Oh,
dozens
that
of
I
times. I've
love that
tons
sticker
of them.
sheet. Wait, how do you have tons of? Wait, let me. Oh, wait, you use the
Okay,
white part. You use the white part of the sticker too, right?
on these,
Yeah.
I
Like,
use the whole sticker. These are all see-through.
what I've been trying to do is find like another like classic space fan that will split the sticker sheet with me and be like, take all the classic space parts. I don't care. I want the white like markings because like the white
Yeah.
stickers on transparent is mwah.
Well, you see, mine
Like
are all missing. You mentioned specifically.
yeah,
Let me solo this one. You mentioned specifically the classic space logos. I do have those missing. They were right here.
but where did you
I have
use
used
them?
them elsewhere for classic space stuff.
All right, because you went through the whole classic space phase. Yeah.
Yep, I did that for a little while too. But yeah, I love the white. Yeah, you said, did you take the white ones off? Several of them. I still have some that say latch, but like the ones with the arrows. I absolutely love them. Joellen agrees with us. She hates, or at least with me, she hates those UCS stickers. Yeah,
Yeah,
they have started
UCS is
printing
like
those.
UCS in
So
my mind is the perfect example where you just print them. Like they're very specific. Like if you're buying a UCS set, you're not parting that. You are most likely actually building it. It makes zero sense for them to do that. Just print it, save everyone
yeah,
time and hassle, and
that's true now because the
yeah.
prices on UCS sets are just insane. Buying it as a parts pack now is just crazy. And at least for me and you, we use a decent amount of gray for all kinds of
Oh
things.
yeah,
Star
but
Wars
it's
sets are great for that, but now they're so ridiculously expensive that you don't dare do it. Joellen says
so.
when she does Bricklink, she checks the
Oh,
stickers. I do
I
too
always sell stickers.
sometimes.
So
But
here's the funny thing. Here's my Betty spaceship one. If you'll notice, the white ones are all gone,
yep,
or a lot of them, and then I have all these useless classic space ones. And
useless. A little harsh, but I gotcha.
less useful. This one I don't know what did I use this one for?
Wow, you
But yeah,
cut her
this
out.
one is like like you could tell there's only a couple of
Yep.
them left, and then I did. I do joke like I do like classic space, but I don't build nearly enough of it that I really should.
Yeah.
Um, but
It's a fun
there's just so
distraction. Yeah.
it's but the thing is like I kind of like the fact that we have our own kind of color schemes, or just even exploring the different color schemes. Like I could build the exact same thing in a different color, and I feel like it's almost like a crutch to build something in classic space colors because is it really 5 points cooler just because I happen to use this color? Or in my mind, it's the opposite. Is oh, I used a really stupid color to get something that doesn't look as good if I could do it in classic blue.
I could have used you on here voting for me when I was destroying Yellow Castle on the live stream. I don't know if you caught that one.
I missed that, but I got the background story afterwards. But
Okay.
yeah,
All right. And the Brick Orphanage tells us that the sticker sheets are $22 on Bricklink. Is that for that Benny spaceship
I
one?
think it's so. But
Orphanage?
but
Yeah, I bought a whole bunch of them when they were
y-
inexpensive as well. So you
well,
you've
I don't
got
know if it was
several there.
inexpensive, but yeah, like these
They
are
were
the
less. They were cheaper
I don't remember. I should probably
at
look it
one
up.
point
I
for
feel like
sure.
$5 a piece. The irony is I bought them strictly for the Classic Space logo because that was really rare at the time. Now
Hmm.
we've got like much more options. We got some great printed things, but
It's
then I
true.
realized how great like the white printing is. Like this is like Exoforce level amazingness. And for those that don't know, the Exoforce stickers are the creme de la creme of sticker sheets for sci-fi. They
Wow.
are just perfect and amazing, and they are by far and even like this was like 10 years ago when I got in the community, like they were very well sought after even well before that. So like you have things like this, which is like super shiny and
Hmm.
like it's got that cyberpunk vibe. So it's also good for things like New Heshima, I think it's pronounced. Um, sorry, I think people like to be fair, like I for those that don't know, like I very much embolden Benny and is like
Your spirit animal,
my spirit animal.
your
Like
spirit figure. Yeah.
but oh wow, I forgot how many of these I have. But like the best or most influential sticker sheet I think is the 7701 Exoforce because it's got just really good lettering that's super sci-fi. It's got like these white stars. It's just
Lots of panels
fantastic.
on the
Classic
nice
panels.
see-through. Yep.
Yeah, and it's all trans clear. And when you're building in like a darker color and such, it's are we seeing some?
There's that sticker that you're talking about, the white sticker.
Yeah, and like
I was quite a big fan. You can see I use it quite a bit on these ships. It's
yeah,
that white sticker on the dark orange tile that I
oh
have
yeah,
on most of these. Down back here on the engines as well. So really a really good one. Brick Orphanage says those classic stickers are perfect for containers.
mm,
I agree. I have used them for containers and such. That classic space logo. I like as well because I think one of the things we can sort of both agree on is that we do particularly like the stickers when they're clear because then you can use them on anything as opposed
yes,
to the ones that are white and the empty space is usually a solid color.
yeah. It's far more um specific, and you need to know what color schemes you happen to be doing versus the white ones go in any dark color. Obviously, you don't want to put on like light gray or white, but even like clear and black, like anything that's clear means that I can put it on anything. Like the black and white on transparent is just gold because you never know what you're going to need. Doesn't matter. You can pick your stupid colors. You can pick common colors, and it's fine. Like
Yeah.
like for instance, like we go back to the olive. Olive is not a common color. It's more common now, but it's not common in terms of stickers. So like the one of the few stickers that I do have are these. The Hydra
Oh,
one's
the
probably
Hydra
not
ones.
important, but like I have 65 or like 59, and I have enough that I'll probably ever need in terms of whatever stupid army I ever want to build, because this is one of the few stickers that have olive that I can put olive on anything.
Yeah. It seems like we're amongst friends here today, Simon, because the Brick
Mm-hmm.
Orphanage says also shop Spricklink for stickers. Wishes the
Yes.
pictures were bigger though, so you could get a
Yes.
better look at the sticker sheet.
Or just I would also like a flag or clarity on, is it transparent or not? Because then like I have to like squint or like
Yeah.
go on the actual inventory to look at the actual piece to try to figure out, is it clear or not.
Well, and we know this week's episode is brought to us by the letter S, and people oftentimes refer to the sticker sheet as the stupid sticker sheet, the triple S. I do
No.
not subscribe to that, but a lot of people do. So I don't know. I think maybe it is
Mhm.
just a break between mockers, people who do mocks, and people who are just collect.
And to be fair, even mockers, not everyone uses stickers. I think there's
It's
some
true.
people that even argue the purest sticker is to use the piece as is
Yeah.
supposed to be stickers, which um,
Yeah.
that's sometimes fun as well. So like I find a piece that has a sticker, I'm going to put it in, and that's the prescribed sticker placement. That's really fun as well.
Well, we kind of have the levels of purism here. You have to use the sticker
Hmm.
as intended on the piece intended. When you move maybe to me, where it's, oh, I'm going to use the sticker, but I can put it on any piece I want so long as it fits. And you move down to Simon, who's like, I'm getting
Hmm.
out that exact zero, the X-Acto blade, and cutting this bad boy up. So yeah, I mean, totally different. And I suppose, do you feel different about that than cutting or gluing a brick?
Um, yeah, I feel the sticker like it's super arbitrary, completely arbitrary. But you're right. Like
It
the
is.
for stickers, yeah, cutting
Yeah.
stickers fine. I only use Lego stickers. Like I know a lot of people use like Gundam sets or other like modeling kits and stuff, which is great and looks fantastic. But there's something fun about well, I can point to you the Bricklink inventory. Yes, I might have chopped it a bit to fit my own needs, but it's still semi-purist. But again, I feel like in our community, it's really honestly just do whatever you like that looks good, and if you use it, even if you use a mega block, whatever, like use the mega block. I don't really care.
Yeah.
You do you. That's like my thing. Like
You do
you do
you.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and if you're like the digital guy that's using pieces that don't exist and then printing and putting stickers on them, like whatever. I
Or
like
colors
it.
that
It
don't
looks cool.
exist.
Yeah, exactly. Like whatever. That's cool. It's cool. Like it's
Yeah.
all creative.
Have you ever done any 3D printing?
Um, Me personally, not, but I do actually have some 3D printed pieces that were given to me by a builder called Tim Schwaffenberg. If you actually look him up on Flickr, he did do some 3D printing a while ago and made like some basically, the 1x2 ingot or a gold piece. He made
Yep.
some 1x1s and then he used that in a mock
Okay.
that was kind of cool. And he had some extra ones that he 3D printed and gave them to me. I haven't used it yet, more because I just have so many build ideas anyway. So like at some point I'll just be like, I'll find the bag and like, oh right, Tim gave him this. I'm gonna like just build something cool and give it back to him or something. And but like I'm not opposed to it necessarily. And I guess it also depends. Like this is the interesting thing. It also depends on the scope of what you're building. So as part of the New Hashima project, I don't know if you guys talked about that or people that went to Chicago might have seen it. It was kind of small
Yep.
and tucked away. There was a question that was asked, so can we 3D print pieces? And the general consensus was actually no. Like we want to keep it somewhat purist, especially and like so as an individual builder, you could do whatever you want, and then maybe Mark might have some concerns if you are using mega blocks or whatever. That's like showing at a convention is a different thing.
Yeah.
But even at a collab, like technically you gotta set some limits or clarification. Like some people might be like, hey, you cannot cut stickers. You should use them. Has this ever been discussed on the Eurobricks level of like what the level of purity is or isn't?
No, I mean because when we do Eurobricks collabs, um, we We try to, and this has kind of changed the last couple of years. We've tried to pick a theme or a way that we can build where we can still just kind of build our own way. So there's not a lot of talk about, oh, this needs to be purist. And on top of that, we've used special effects. We've used fog machines. We've used lighting.
I thought it was a humidifier. I didn't think it was actually a fog machine.
It was, well, we had these little fog machines that like fit in a pick-a-brick cup, a little one. That were submersible little pumps that did that.
Were they actually pumps, or were they like vibrating things that cause mist?
Yeah, they were vibrating that spit the mist out. But yeah.
Yeah. Because it was funny because, again, back to the Fukushima, we had a very long discussion of whether or not we can actually use a fog machine and like an industrial fog machine to like get like the whole thing. And basically, my ruling as a good Brickwork hoarder is like, no, this is going to cause such a mess that like we could get away with it.
It was all water, so I mean that's something. But yeah, it did cause a mess, and that was part of it. Is we were like, is there a leak? But no, I mean it would come out and then condense and then drip down, and it made a mess for sure.
Yeah, but we were like, someone was considering buying an industrial one. It's like, no, it's gonna cover like the entire thing. It's going to cover multiple things. Like, no, it will be very cool for the first like 20 minutes, and then Mark will kick me out.
Yeah, well, I mean, it never came to that, but I'm sure New Hashima used a lot of lights, a lot of lighting.
We use a lot of light, yeah,
and stickers too. So I mean, that seemed to be all fair game. But you apparently stopped short of 3D printed things.
Yeah, 3D printed things. No fog machines. The lighting was ultrasonic misters. That's exactly what it was.
That's what we were using.
Yeah. Like that's what I've used before for some of my photos, and I picked one up. Like for those that don't know, those are the things that go into like the witches' cauldrons around Halloween.
Like a little puck.
Yeah, exactly.
Small. So you can submerge them. You have to submerge them.
Yeah.
And then they spit out. Just like boil water up. Yep.
Basically, yeah. And now's the time to get it because it's around Halloween. Just be warned, it does make a freaking mess everywhere. But as Brick Orphanage was pointing out, the actual fog, was it Brick Orphanage or the actual brick the actual smoke machines leaves residue everywhere and creates a huge mess. And don't ever do that with Lego. Just like don't. That's if you really, really want some effect and the mister isn't going for it, use dry ice. So the
has its own dangers though, right?
It does. And I was trying to remember because like it was Grant Davis who spent a stupid amount of time figuring out how to do the dry ice and like built like even like a dry ice kind of like machine's probably the wrong word, but it's something like inside like a cooler that pumped the air through with some sort of condensing so that you get the maximum smoke. Like there's a whole process that I'm sure you can look up on YouTube. But generally speaking, like for photos, yes. For conventions, no. Just like that, the most you'd want to do is mister in a isolated spot. Like I'm not sure what Tim does with his dragon. I think it's a mister or a humidifier. That works in the smaller. So don't try to cover an entire 20 by 20 foot mock with fog. That's gonna be a disaster.
And I think I tried to go slightly more purist. I used the ultrasonic mister, but I put it inside a small pickup brick cup with water in it. And then I used plumbing putty around the outside so that it wouldn't leak everywhere. But I was using an actual Lego piece to hold all the water. So I thought, it probably qualifies. I don't know. It's purist.
It's funny. It's funny because the last time I was playing with it, I used also a small pick-a-brick cup. Not because it was purist, but because it's a convenient cup that I have lots of.
Yeah. Lots of. It's embarrassing every time I go to the pick-a-brick wall. They always say, is this a new cup? And I'm like, yes, I should probably recycle my old ones, but it's a new cup. I'm not getting the discount. Sorry, Lego, take my money. So Joellen thinks that Tim's dragon, if you can find that online, probably is using a diffuser of some variety. It might be. It does spit out very small amounts of of smoke out of that thing.
It's very
Okay.
cool.
It is. Well, we've talked some S's. What do we got next here? Stickers? So you and I seem to be somewhat
Very
aligned,
pro
though.
sticker.
Though you
For
use them
anyone that
a
isn't,
little more
wait,
interesting.
wait, hold on, pause. For anyone that doesn't use their stickers on their sets or if they're resellers and don't want them, I will gladly trade you dots for your unused or partially used stickers.
Oof, I don't know. It's a good deal for one of the two of you, probably both. We got you love dots and love stickers, so probably a good deal for both. Okay, let's move on to something else. Shows! Exclamation point. You know why I'm talking about this? Because when I'm building sci-fi in particular, I always like to get a little inspiration. At least for me, I don't base what I build off of concept art necessarily. I don't try to replicate something. A lot of times when I bring the orange ships, people say, is this X? Is this Star Wars? Is this Halo? Is this whatever? And I always say, well, it's nothing and everything, because it's not based on one particular thing, but it's based on kind of everything that I like. So while I've been running this last September, I watched all of The Expanse already, and now I have to move on to something else.
Have you read the books?
I have
Are
not.
you a book reader or
Well,
audiobook?
I wish I had time, but I've got 2 children, so got Lego and kids. That's about all I have time for. But I do know the books are a little different, but still very good, right?
So when you build, do you listen to music? Do you watch the TV in the background?
It's usually in the background, and I found there are certain things that I like because I can't watch like a movie I haven't seen, because if there are certain shows, in particular Star Trek, for example, you don't have to watch it at all. You can just
The Next
listen to it.
Generation, original series, Discovery,
DS9, any of them.
DS9.
You can just listen to it without ever looking at it and know exactly what's happening. There's not like something on the screen that you actually need to see in order to understand the plot.
It's funny because we kind of figured out the same way for Futurama, in that on a road trip, I could just play the audio and we could watch the entire episode and be that. But that said, why I bring it up is I listen to a lot of audiobooks while building, because I find it's enough of a entertainment that I can pay attention to it, but it's not as distracting I don't need to look at it. I can focus and I can do like the multitasking of both listening to the audiobook and building at the same time. So I don't know if you want to try that, or for sorting, it definitely works. Sorting is really good.
That's an S that I left off the list for a reason. But that's a good thought. My wife actually has us subscribed to Audible, because she does listen to some audiobooks. So I probably could do that.
You could try it. It works really for me.
Yeah, I tried turning on Halo. I don't know. I can't really get through it. The Paramount Plus.
Well, that's a different story. That has nothing to do with the multitasking. That's just why did you just make a Space Marine generic thing, and why did you touch that? Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there are certain things that I've found I don't like. But you watching anything interesting now in the sci-fi world?
I just finished the latest season of Foundation like a couple weeks ago. Like Apple Plus is phenomenal. Or sorry, Apple TV.
Apple TV Plus
is really like the Foundation series is amazing. It's based off of a series of books by Isaac Asimov. And since then, I have actually, as part of September, I've listened to the entire Foundation series. I just have it in the background. Like they're kind of relatively short. It's actually not as long as you think, despite the many books. They get longer, but that's the thing. Is I can listen to that like while I build, which I kind of like. So I don't need to be focused on it, because I used to be exactly like you. Like I need something in the background, not just like pure silence. And it used to be like TV shows or movies I've seen. So like that's why I do not need to look up if I watch like the first 10 seasons of Simpsons or like all of Futurama. I can do that in the back of my head, because it's just background enjoyment that I can multitask enough. It's almost like even in like work meetings where you have the fidget cube or something, like you kind of need if you're trying to focus 100%, that actually is harder than if you're like kind of at least for me, a bit of multitasking where like I have the fidget cube or something that's like keeping me kind of mentally engaged while not just I need, maybe that's the ADHD where like I need something else to go with it.
Squirrel.
Squirrel. Woo! That dog has a puffy tail.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything in the Tainted for a little while. Anyone watching any shows that Simon needs to check out? Get him off the audiobooks. What should he be checking out?
Silo is also fantastic, also from Apple. Best 2 sci-fis that I've seen like all year, and I just it makes me happy that we're in a age where some of these, well, Silo is not overly like a sci-fi classic, but Foundation is something where like it's should not be filmable, should not be able to be on TV, but they did it and it's fantastic, and
they found a way to make it happen.
They found a way, and it's actually better than the book. Like so many things like if you look at something like Game of Thrones, where they basically took it like word for word for the book, which is great.
until they ran a book. Yep.
Yeah. But and what I love about Apple is that whatever group of creative people they have, the writers, like they're not afraid to extend the story. Unlike a Halo where they made up their own stuff, but it didn't make sense. It didn't fit the ethos of Halo. Versus I found Apple was much better in that they kept with the ethos. It made sense. They made up all this new stuff, but like it was absolutely amazing. It was very well done, and like gold star for me for Apple. Like if I had to lose every streaming service,
that's the one you
as much as I love. Actually, Disney's pretty good. Like,
that's a Star Wars there.
Actually, that actually Paramount Plus is pretty good too, because like you know what, like
Star Trek.
Lower Decks is the show I did not know I needed. It is like the greatest thing ever.
A guy who loves sci-fi and The Simpsons, and Futurama, Lower Decks is for you, right?
It really is. It's so like
makes sense.
Warms our heart.
Apparently no one from never mind. Let me pause. Joellen says, I can't do audiobooks while building or sorting.
That was good, yes.
Yes, I lose track of the story and my attention goes elsewhere. So there's a few. Those are the classic Sci-Fi Channel shows right there.
Yeah. Eureka. That is that an anime?
No, I don't think so.
Yes, Lower Decks. That's so good.
Oh, Gary joining. Gary's giving me a like on Facebook. Oh boy, I didn't even.
Oh, Eureka! I don't
throw that out there. People, like and subscribe if you like.
All right, I gotta check out
like
this Eureka
the live stream so we can keep it running.
Yes, the likes help pay the bills, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, it helps me afford, even though I've never been paid for the live stream. Someday it'll help me buy a new camera, probably. Eureka's not animated, yes, and Gary agrees that it's great.
All right. That's it's funny. So like I pulled up Eureka. Warehouse 13 is the first more like this. Stargate's one that I've never really watched. Like I've watched the movies. I think I've seen some of it, but like I never got into it. Like that, and
got a couple different versions of that as well.
Yeah,
I do like the movie. My problem is the movie I have is it's low def, and they tried. I never really dig when they have a movie property that comes first, then they turn it into a TV show. They try to keep the same characters but recast them. It oftentimes feels disjointed, even though the series ends up being 15 times longer than the show ever was or the movie ever was.
Yeah.
But I still associate, David Spader with being, is that his name? David Spader with being Dr. Daniel Jackson, right?
But I do know, and I've heard a lot of good, like, it's one of these things where like maybe instead of playing like Starfield, I should have like watched a bunch of like caught up on my old classic sci-fi stuff.
Yeah, apparently Warehouse 13 and Eureka had crossover episodes.
Ooh, wait, that's where. All right, I definitely know
Rico
Warehouse
was like
13.
sci-fi DARPA set in a small town.
Huh.
And Gary says
that's actually that's not a
talking
bad
about Stargate
concept.
here.
Yeah, but like that's actually a pretty smart strategy. Like if you're going back on stuff, like forget the thing it was based off. If the show is good,
If you like the
ignore
show.
the
Yeah.
or if you hear the show is good.
Doctor Who, yes.
Yeah.
Well, Doctor Who's got its way of doing that. But yeah, I mean, then you don't get bogged down in they've magically or suspiciously changed my character. But yeah, it's just it's hard for me sometimes to get over that. But you know, maybe I'm just small-minded monkey brain over here. So a lot of those shows were your classic sci-fi, as in Sci-Fi the Channel shows. Yeah, I mean, a lot of those are interesting too. Their special effects were usually lower budget, but the concepts were still interesting. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see some of those shows redone by a service that would pay for all the special effects. But you know, first couple of seasons of Star Trek, for example, had some terrible special effects. Next Generation, but you know, they got better in time. There's lots of series that have that issue, I guess. So that's one of those things too.
That would be actually an interesting like idea. It's like for all these like super streaming services, like to buy the rights, you should be like but you gotta like redo X number of episodes with like today's technology. Could you imagine? Like, could you imagine like Netflix is like we do like a season a year and just like redo like the special effects? Like, how incredible would that be?
Yeah. Well, and I think part of this too, you know, from the Tainted here is these are things that weren't on streaming services, so they're things that you were familiar with that everyone had access to. Now, if something is on Paramount Plus, you have no idea if the person has it, if they don't. You know, before you just had to pay for cable. Now you have to pay for 16 things.
Well, it's interesting because like I had this conversation at work where I was basically hypothesizing or pointing out that I don't need to watch as much TV anymore before going to work, because back in the day, I had to make sure I kept up on my TV shows because like we're at the office. We're going to talk about last night's episode of blah, blah, blah. Nowadays, we're in the office 2 days a week, at least where I am. So like for the most part, we're like all business. So I don't talk, like I don't need to watch, like I could get away with not watching Ahsoka till I binge it near the end because no one's talking about it, versus pre-pandemic where they're 5 days a week. We got to kill that week sometime.
You didn't have to get on Ahsoka right away, because the first time the ghost shows up on screen, you weren't like, oh, fanboy. No.
Okay, but Ahsoka's probably a bad example because if I don't watch it, people are going to ruin it. Oh, they did?
Yeah, I didn't know this either, but Gary says they did some classic Trek episodes. And me, I'm going to be honest, I'm a Next Generation guy for sure. I love DS9 as well. Don't love classic Star Trek so much. But apparently the CGI ship, not so good. So
I'm kind of with you. TNG and DS9 were like golden era, and then of course Lower Decks because
minus the first 2 seasons of TNG. Like you got to cut those out.
There were some decent episodes.
Go back and watch them. They are some of them are so classic Star Trek style that it took them a little while to break off that and really turn it around. The first 2 seasons are pretty terrible, and there are a couple episodes that are so similar to classic Star Trek that they just didn't have their own voice. And I know there's a documentary I watched or listened to on the treadmill about TNG. I don't remember what it was called, but I think it was on. Was it on Paramount Plus? No, I don't think it was, because I don't think I had that going at the time. Where they talk about sort of those first couple seasons and all the struggles they had with sort of the changing the showrunner and sort of the grip that Gene Roddenberry had on it, and how he had a certain thought of what Star Trek should be, and it was really just the classic Trek type episodes.
So you're saying or implying that he was holding it back.
I mean, to some extent, it sounded like it was either him or his sort of lieutenants who sort of had this idea. Like, one of the things they thought is that people should transcend their disagreements, and that the humanity of the future, there were no interpersonal problems, right? So that was like one of the things they were trying to promote, and it wasn't as interesting, I guess. Well, we've got a vote for Trouble with Tribbles. So classic, in fact, that they've revisited that in a number of other later episodes. There was it the DS9 episode where they went back in time with the wacko Klingons and explored Trouble with Tribbles?
That's actually like I know we're veering completely off topic, but like the
topic is shows.
Star Trek starts with the S.
Topic. It does.
So then, what is your favorite S show?
Oh, that's a good question. I do love DS9. Star Trek DS9 starts with an S. Let me see. Anything else that starts with an S?
Or no, I meant more specifically which episode or arc or.
Yeah, so they're one of the ones I really like. My dad was a big fan of this one, and so I've sort of latched onto it too. Is the one where Picard is on the planet with an alien who can only speak in metaphors or in stories.
Democ and Trinabra or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and so he's trying to figure out, because I think what I like about that is the universal translator. There's a couple times where it doesn't function as well. They use that a bit in Voyager too, because they're actually meeting new people. But they've run into an alien race where communication isn't just immediate anymore. They finally have to struggle with it. Something kind of new to them that we would have to struggle with if we met an alien society that Star Trek had sort of written out. And now they're back facing it again, and it was just so different. I really liked it. I don't know. Let's see here. Gary says, Trials and Tribulations. Gary, what's that in reference to? You can give me...
I think that might be the DS9 episode where the Tribbles come back, is my guess.
Okay. And YOLO X says he likes the one where Picard learns the flute. There are a couple. They do time travel in a number of different ways, but not just time travel, also time thoughts on time. And yeah, they've had quite a few of those episodes where I always think it's interesting, where they make someone like live an entire lifetime. But they really
poor Data, spoiler alert, getting like buried for 2,000 or 3,000 years.
Yes, the DS9 episode. So Joellen also likes the Trials and Tribulations DS9 episode with the Tribbles and the Klingons that didn't look like Klingons.
Like, I feel like the two-parters are unfair because they're like more weighty, plotty, and usually like really deep and like awesome. Like I'm thinking like Best of Both Worlds, or like the Klingon one where they like, or like the time, like those ones I feel like shouldn't really count when you're thinking about that. But like yesterday's Enterprise was really cool, where again, time travel, or like I always like Data, like for whatever reason. So like Measure of a Man, where he goes on trial to see if he's property or not. Like I kind of thought that was so not like standard Star Trek, but like it was really fascinating that like that's a good point. Like is Data considered property a thing or not? And the fact that at the end he shows that he is like better than we are, holds no grudges. Like keep your was it Daystrom or whatever, keep doing your research, and if you make progress, I'll be interested. Versus if I was Data, I'm like you just tried to dissect me, I don't want to deal with you ever again. No, but like it just. Yeah.
Well, did you enjoy Picard as a?
Oh, I love Picard. But it's like so much fan service. Like Cause and Effect. Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I had a hard time, and I think someone tried to explain it somewhere. the conflict of the second season Borg versus the third season Borg. I was just like, I'm confused as to why one exists and one doesn't now. I don't know. It was just kind of strange for me. I think the documentary I was thinking of for the struggle to create Star Trek was called Chaos on the Bridge, narrated, written, and directed by William Shatner. So you get a little Shatner in there too. Okay, well, we were talking about, in general, even though we're a bit off topic here, shows to help inspire your Lego sci-fi mocks, but we just talked a lot about other cool shows that we like. More things we can put on the background.
Inspire us.
While sorting,
Mm-hmm.
but lots of fun S's in there. But let's get back on topic to our next topic. Snacks? Question mark?
Mm.
Okay, you had the dots. You busted them out there. I saw them.
Yeah.
So I know you've got some dots nearby. I, of course, have some dots, of course, right here, too. Family size. They're our unofficial sponsor. We still haven't seen a dime from Dots, but you gotta love the Dots. I have a bad habit of eating spicy nacho Doritos while I build, and of course that gets my fingers all greasy when I'm touching Lego parts. I know you have a particular snack you really like, but I don't know if you do it while Lego building. So what kind of snack? What kind of snack?
Are you implying Nutella? Or sorry, Ferrero Rochers?
Ferrero Rocher.
I do love Ferrero Rochers. It is not actually something that I actually keep that handy, simply because I'll just eat them all.
Yes, you don't want to do that.
No. Though they are quite clean, they keep your fingers quite good. But like if you're ever in Chicago, I usually, I have them until maybe the first or second day, and then they're probably gone by then. But yes, Ferrero. Ooh. Gary's working on a TNG mock for Fort Wayne.
Where's
Fort Wayne?
It's Indiana. So they do 2 Brickworld shows in Indiana. So that would be east of Chicago.
So that's good. That's closer to me.
Yep.
If I need to see it.
Potentially.
But anyways, yeah. So Ferrero Rochers, yes, I do love them, but it's not actually something I commonly eat. Though I will pimp out dots are awesome, but one of the favorite snacks currently are these. They're Lay's chips, so like Lay's as in that, but these are like from China. They get like the local Chinese grocery mart.
Okay.
And they're like numb, hot, and spicy.
Numb and spicy hot flavor.
It's really good. It's like, so like I never realized, but like the Chinese Lays, their flavors are on point. They do like so many weird, like basically like every week I go visit my mom and go to the grocery store and I'd look to see like what new crazy chips Lay's has produced. Like I actually have
for the China region. For the
China region, and they get like imported here, which is I know is like the most obscene thing ever to ship a bag of chips from China to Canada. But like these are like the 2 new ones I got today, and so I have to use like Google Translate to have to understand some of these occasionally. So this is truffle flavored.
Truffle.
Yeah. And this one's my favorite. Not
Wagyu.
favorite in the Wagyu. And my mom pointed is like that's not actual Wagyu. They're just flavored like beef. I'm like, yeah, leave me alone. So
chips. I've never tried.
No. Like I feel like it's just like a more like cultural thing where there's like I'm not joking. Like every month there seems to be like a new like it's kind of like Mountain Dew and they release like flavors all the time. Lay's in China just like releases all these crazy flavors and they're actually pretty decent.
Do any of them ever translate over or come to other markets, or are they really just
yes. I feel like so like they definitely do have them, but not as the good flavors. Like because I feel like I guess my taste buds / taste skews Asian, obviously. So like the certain markets might not like the hot and spicy is like kind of hot and spicy, and it's not like classic traditional spicy. It's like the Szechuan numb spicy, which
Okay.
is like weird for some people. So like it's definitely doesn't translate to large audiences. And then like here we have things like all dressed, or like we would get like there are weird flavors, but our weird flavors aren't as fun as the Chinese weird flavors, I find.
Yeah. Tainted.
And
Sound off with your chips, especially,
mhm,
or your snacks, especially if you have weird Chinese chips as well,
check your local
or
market.
any
It's good.
culture for that
Yeah,
matter. Does Toronto have a large immigrant Chinese population, or
huge,
okay?
huge.
So having a Chinese supermarket's really common in
Oh
your
yeah,
area.
yeah.
Okay.
Like the one of the larger Canadian grocery marts basically bought a chain of Asian grocery marts to bring it to the masses. So like it's very common. It's Toronto's maybe not as high of a Asian population as say Vancouver or West Coast, simply
Or
because
Seattle. Yeah.
or Seattle, because it's literally closer to fly back and forth. But it's large. It's quite large. So there's like just in general, like Toronto is like Canada in general, especially the large cities, are extremely multicultural, simply because it's a very high immigration. So like it's so interesting that like it's not just like it's not just Chinese food in terms of Asian. Like I can walk down like a block from me, and then there's the Taiwanese chicken joint. There's the Korean chicken joint.
Yeah. We gotta have
There
them all.
is well, actually, the Chinese chicken joints are actually pretty bad, but like yeah, but like and then there's like the like it really like I'm lucky that I live in downtown and there I have this plethora of chicken joints I can go to. I guess there's other restaurants, but I like the chicken joints better, best.
Hey, you like what you like,
I
right?
like
You're gonna have to bring some of those chips. I'm interested in the numb spicy one for
that.
sure.
It's funny
Chicago.
because I brought them to Brick Fair in 2020, and it became, or sorry, 2022, and it became the new Hashima like instant favorite. Everyone loved it. So like every year, like I bought them and it like disappeared. Like I spent like $50 in chips this year in Chicago,
Yeah.
and because like so we even had like a whole dedicated channel in our Discord for like food and things, and like the making sure that we bring the
Get
right
the right
amount of
chips
chip.
over.
We
Yeah.
get the right amount of snacks over, because like snacks are a very important thing.
Mm.
Um,
The other day, so spicy nacho Doritos that
yeah.
my son loves those too. My daughter eats them sometimes. My son for a long time called them daddy chips. That's what they were called. I bought a bag the other
Yeah.
day that was like quadruple the amount of seasoning on it as normal.
What?
I was in
Mhm.
like absolute heaven. I'm like, they should actually do like a double covered version.
Mhm.
Because I took the bag after I opened it up and I ate a couple that were, what I assumed to be like quadruple covered. I put a clip on it. I put it in the high shelf where Sonny couldn't get it. I'm like, those ones are mine. I'm not sharing them.
That's daddy's chips.
Those are truly daddy's chips these times. So he doesn't even know. I finished that bag off a couple days ago. He never got to try a quadruple seasoned one. So um, now I've got to chase. Now I've got to chase that Dorito luck and see if I can get another quadruple flavored one. So
Well, like that's the risk with some of these things. Like the fact that the limited time or whatever, you get it and it could be gone.
well, I mean, Dots did that limited flavor cinnamon sugar, and now that's here to stay. We're talking about
Mm.
Dots. Were you on a Dots kick before we pressed them
So,
down your throat and said, "Please eat these"?
I don't really know, because I don't know when the whole dots kick started, or sorry, or at least on this particular show, but it was
Always.
I think it was always, because like where it started was I noticed that one of the promo pictures had dots, and I had no idea what dots was. Like I could read it as pretzels,
Yeah,
and it was Dale, who is the
Dale.
wonderful pizza master of Chicago was like you never like I said I have no idea what this is, and he's like you never had this, and it's
Never
like
had
I
this.
will bring you some to Toronto because he was going to come up to Bricks in the Six, which is like the Toronto convention up here.
Yep.
Except that Dale doesn't know how to read dates or something, and passport expired, and so he couldn't cross the border. But he still was good to his word. Met up with Casey McCoy, which is the Brickworld Master for
this year. Yep.
for this year, and I'm very much looking for his ridiculous Gudrick next year, which is I don't know if you know, it's actually the 10th iteration of that. The 10 isn't technically 10-year anniversary because we had some non-years, but the 10th
10th
Brick
production.
World
Yep.
since we started doing that. And he gave it to him, and he brought it to Toronto for me. And like I was like, how good could these things be? Like it's a pretzel stick, right? And like I had it out.
It's changed your mind now, right?
And
Yeah,
what's
so
really funny is I gave it to Canadians because the majority of Canadians have never tried this, and they're like equally like, how good could a pretzel stick be? Like, oh
yeah,
wow.
it's a
And
special
like
pretzel stick.
and like the one guy like just kept coming back. Like, can I have some more? I was like, yeah, go for it. Can I have some more?
Sure. Yeah, so before Mark and I started doing this as a live stream, we were recording some episodes.
Mhm.
Wasn't quite as fun. You know, I like interacting with the chat. If they would chat to us, come on, chat. And we were both one day, like the third one we were recording or something, we both had a bowl of Dots pretzels that we were
Mhm.
eating while we were talking about setting up the show. So, you know, as a practice for how do you integrate a product, we started doing dot spots just for fun, even though, you know, they
You
don't
actually called
actually
it dot
sponsor us.
spots?
Dot
That's really weird.
spots, that's what we call them. So, you know, they're a large company now. They don't need us. And they're, I think, owned by Hershey's, but that's how they really got started. And it has spread among the Brick World community for
They're
sure.
like it's hilarious. Like I was in I guess it was Brick Fair, and so this is after Toronto because we devoured our bag, and I was in Costco or Walmart. I'm like, oh wait, I gotta go get some nuts. And I think the next time in the U.S. might be like end of October, and like I'm gonna stop by and get some more dots.
Yeah. Well, okay. Hey, I was just about to say, no comments, but here comes one. Apple pie wine while building, Joel and Child says. That's interesting. I don't know if drinking apple pie wine would make me more likely to build something crazy or less likely to build something crazy. Not sure. Well,
Apple
let's talk about
pie wine.
some Lego again. And what I want to talk about is sci-fi month. September we've harped on. I don't know that I'll do another sci-fi month. Maybe I won't, but several of the next months also have special sci-fi themes for people looking to get into building. I know you
Mhm.
posted some lately. For example, November with 2Vs for the Vic Viper.
Mhm.
There are a couple other ones out there. So why don't you give us an idea of some of the other special sci-fi months that people can participate in?
So it's interesting in that depending on when you joined the community, there was one or very little. I believe the first one, and I'm sure someone probably can correct me, but the first one that I'm aware of was November with 2Vs, NOVVMBR. And that was to build something called a Vic Viper. And it's a very specific starfighter that has very specific design elements. Basically, two forward prongs, two wings, and then a tail fin. So that's as long as you got that, it doesn't matter what you are. It could be Bionicle, it could be like a Greeble monster, whatever. Like as long as it's got two things that extends past the cockpit, two wings, and a vertical stabilizer or tail fin. That was a Vic Viper. And that was like kind of like I believe the start of all of these sort of theme months where we have that. So that was like the original one. Um, And then since then, there have been so many more. Like another common one is in February. I think that was one of the next most popular original ones, which was Febrovery, where you build a rover in whatever context you have. It's almost basically like build a sci-fi thing with two wheels. Is basically the vibe of that theme month. And then that kind of like gets transcended into other things like Dronuary, which was not one of the original ones, but one of the later ones where you build a drone. And when I say drone, I mean more like a robot that is controlled or cybernetic versus like a flying drone that we now have. Because back in the day, when we first started this in probably like 2015, like the drones that we know today, like the flying drones, didn't really exist in more common like common nomenclature or whatever. It was much more of the there's these flying things that people don't know about. So I'm getting to that. So sorry, that's March. How did I can't remember? But it's the in March you build the think tank. March. This is funny things. I actually don't say these words out loud very often. But sorry. So like we've covered November, January, February, and then March is something called Think Tank. So Think Tanks goes back to Akira, the anime. It has these like walkers that also have kind of specific requirements of it has basically kind of like a butt. It has 4 or more legs. And it has like 2 little clippers on the front. And again, it's a lot of these sci-fi months are all about here is some generic design criteria for you, i.e., here are the rules. It's very broad. That means you can do not just any color scheme, but a lot of different styles, and it lets you fill that in. And it was very popular and still is pretty popular in the sci-fi community because it is so broad in general that anyone can do it. And then, of course, like September, ironically, I feel like it's not the first thing in the year, but it's like the first one in the series. Oh, wait, did I get Ghost in the Shell and Akira wrong? I think Yono X is probably right.
Probably, but whatever.
No, you're right. You're right. It's Ghost in the Shell. I'm sorry. I'm not a big anime person.
Me neither.
But
You can see here I've got some examples of something that might technically qualify as a Vic Viper.
Oh, it absolutely does. 2 wings, 2 front prongs, and your vertical stabilizer.
So I got a couple of those. That's kind of a popular design. Got something that might qualify for that mech too, like this guy. Maybe not, but it has multiple legs and the little pinchers. No butt though, so maybe it doesn't quite make it. But all kinds of fun stuff you can get into.
It is, and that's why I feel like the community is really cool because they spent a lot of time building a lot of this. And there are many more like as you're noticing, there's like 4 wide car month. I think there is the tool. What month was it? It was like tool something where you built like tools and things. There's Grebo de Milo in May that we did for one couple of years. There's Mactober M.AK, which is like Makashina or something, another
Special
Japanese thing.
Yep.
It's a very weird vibe, which honestly it got too complicated, and like Marcus and I were like, let's just simplify it. Like let's do just
Mechtober, yeah.
Mechtober, and we came up with a concept of there. So like it's one of these things where it's interesting. Some people really, really enjoy a lot of these theme months, and it really gets them to build. Versus part of me is like I don't need a theme to tell me I don't need a month to tell me what to build. I'm just gonna build it. It's almost like a obligation more than anything. September, even September is always...
I don't do it every year, but I mean you've kind of probably got a special underpinning with September.
It is, but at the same time, like I was dread is the wrong word, but like I was gonna do it. I wasn't like gun ho, but like I'm gonna do it because I'm gonna do it because it's the 10th anniversary or whatever. Then I got sick and then actually started doing it, and like the I'm calling it the speed runs. Like I'm enjoying this. Like if I were like I feel like if I was gonna do my original idea, I would not be enjoying it as much as I'm doing it now. And like it's just like it it's weird, and like for some people, like again, like these things are, it is what it is, and some people really like it and works for them. Some people it doesn't work as much, and that's fine. Like for the most part, like if I want to build a mech, I don't really need a month to do that. Some people do. Like building a ship is a great example where like we had a lot of non-sci-fi people build it. The theme of September has already been like absconded by another group to do Friendshiptober or Friendshiptember, sorry, where they're doing like friendly space things and boats, and like that's amazing. Go for it. Where because for some folks like 100 studs is still a lot. Build whatever sci-fi thing, whatever, but do it for friends, and like that is the greatest thing ever. Go for it. Like this is where the community, that iteration and stuff like is amazing. Just like do whatever, and like if you're having fun and people are having fun, just do it.
Yeah. Well, are most of those still hosted on Flickr groups, or have people
It's
migrated?
It's migrated a bit to Instagram, I feel like. Unfortunately, the September group, which was like the most functional group, got nuked in a couple of
Yes.
years ago.
Yes.
So it's kind of
We
lost
don't
a
talk about that.
bit. Yeah, it was kind of
Yeah.
rough. And so because of that, it seems slightly more decentralized, which is unfortunate. And it's also like the common trend in these days where back 10 years ago, there was really only one place for Lego and Lego folks. It was like they've moved on from was it like Brickshelf
Brick Shelf and Mock
and
Pages.
Mock Pages. Though Mock
There was
Pages
Flickr.
kept kicking around, and it was like Flickr. Like anyone and everyone was on Flickr. So it's a nice central place, which is why I almost feel like that was like a golden age for like the community because everyone was in the same spot. And then now it's fractured a lot in that you have your Instagram group, you have your Flickr folks, you have your Discord folks, you have your Twitter folks, like the
X.
whatever. It's not as uniform as it used to, and um, even the old mainstays of the community shepherds that was, oh, I can always just go to um, the Brothers Brick to see all the cool stuff. Like even that doesn't work anymore because like
Yeah.
even that media landscape had been fractured
It's
into
hard to find everything.
the Beyond the Bricks,
Mhm.
the Brick Nerds, and like right now, like the Brothers Brick is mainly like if I want to know what the latest press release from Lego is, that's where I'll go. Like
Yeah.
it's
Well,
not easy finding stuff as much as it used to.
yeah, I mean, think about Ark and I when we thought about doing this live stream. Part of it was, he wanted to get people engaged, the community engaged for
Mhm.
Brickworld, for building your own stuff. But most of the comments we get are when we talk about other Lego topics. They can still be mock related or my
Mhm.
own creation related. But people who are casual Lego nerds, um, that's not what they're looking for, right?
Mhm.
They're less interested in that, and so it's even that's even the case. There's probably 50 fractures even in live streaming, where it really
Oh
depends
yeah,
on what you're
there's
into for where you go,
YouTube, there's Twitch, there's like Instagram
right?
Live, there's like yeah, it's
ASMR building, watch someone speed build a set. I mean, okay, I guess, whatever. It's not exactly what we're into, but we like to, you know, what the community wants to talk about, we want to talk about too.
mhm.
Doesn't mean we're not going to continue to show mocks, but it's not necessarily, from my perspective, what people enjoy talking about the most on the stream. That's
Mhm.
fine. But yeah, I mean, we always like to have a bit of a slant towards encouraging building, and theme months are a fun way to do it if you can find them, right? I mean, that's
Right. And
kind of the challenge now. So, all right, yeah, lots of sci-fi ones coming up. I know you had listed a whole bunch. Was that on Discord that you had thrown those out there?
so there is a space Discord that runs through most of those months. So like it is definitely sci-fi skewed. There are non-sci-fi contest months and stuff, but there is a kind of generic sci-fi like Lego space server that does cycle through a lot of those. So like basically every month we rotate like the theme months, and so like there's like June base was another one that got introduced this year where they're looking at the moon base standard. Sometimes we'll have like speeder bikes. Space Jam is another. Like if you're into the sci-fi side, the Lego Space Discord is pretty good. It's pretty populated, and if you want to see the whips of my ship, hint, hint, you can go there. But now that
I
you,
am on there. Here, we can share my
oh yeah,
screen
oh
here.
yeah, so you can show my ship then.
Well, I have to find it.
It's Project
Um,
Atlas.
well, it's just in the Discord.
It's in the Discord
Okay,
because
so let me
unfortunately
share
this
it
is like the
here.
comment. Yeah.
Those aren't the right ones. Oh, that's why. Because it's not a Microsoft Edge tab. It's not really what I wanted anyway. Okay, here we go. So here's our space Discord, and there you are making announcements. That's where I saw them. Look at that. About some of the ones that are coming in here in our general Lego space one. So are we probably going
Yep.
to September whips here?
Yep. So if you see, we have a like similar to the Brick World community, we have separate threads for every single person's ships. So you start
Okay.
scrolling down, it's like isolated threads for that. Versus if you think about the Flickr, everyone just dumps in the major thread. So you've already
Yep.
passed it. It's top right. You just passed it on the right there. Project Atlas is my ship.
Okay. Here we go. Let's bust it out. Project Atlas. Oh, did I do the wrong thing here? No, it's over here.
Yeah, so it
There you go.
starts
There's your
out very
start.
simple. Yeah, like nothing crazy. It's just a frame,
I need to
and
probably
then you
make
start
this bigger
building it
here.
out.
A little bigger over here. Ooh,
And
we
then
got
like
lots of yellowish
hmm
colors there, and we've got this is a sticker sheet under there.
no, that is a case with a
Okay,
beer
with a
sticker.
lovely color
That's
that
actually you're right. That's actually really funny. It is actually really
matches
fitting.
yours. Yep, it's a sticker, just not a Lego sticker, right?
No.
There you
And
go.
then like starting flushing it out, so like the accent color to throw it in.
And of course, you've got that that medium dark whatever azure color, right?
Dark Azure, yeah.
And you've got some PDCs. Those are point defense cannons.
Yeah, as someone that watched The Expanse, you very
Yep.
much well know what those are.
Some regular old big old cannons and some
hmm
greebles. We're getting all the things we need to build a proper ship here.
It's very important to make the pew 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 sounds when you test your PDCs.
Yep. There you go. You've got. I take it this one is a real cannon here versus this one, which is your PDC.
Yes, yeah. So I got the
Yep.
PDCs. That's like the front-mounted cannon. I have since added railguns
Spine in
too.
yours here.
Just some Guibos.
Yep. Little chainsaw spine action in there, and I get some of that in there. And there we go. And I had said, just sort of seeing it from a distance, that it kind of looked like a little bit of almost like a shark, sort of the style here. You
A
kind of got a
bit,
head
yeah.
here and a fin,
And
even though
it,
this is more like the butt.
yeah, and then
So
like what I have to actually work on is like the lower side. I normally do that. So one of the things I did, like I don't know if your thoughts on the highlighter yellow
the highlighter yellow color.
or ow, my eyes hurt yellow. I love it. I think it's fantastic. The fact that it reacts under UV light, which is what I'm showing it here. I absolutely love.
You actually need a link for the Discord. I mean, we can probably get you one. This highlighter yellow, the one thing I don't like about it when I've seen it in person is that it's almost see-through. It just looks so grody
Yeah, but the
by
thing is,
itself.
but when you like introduce some black light, it's just. Someone pointed
We've
out
got an
that.
alert. Hold on. Don't bust me, Simon. We've got an alert. I have got to get my banner here. There it is. We have got
Yes.
some hardcore in here with those eyes and the big open mouth. I love it.
I did think about like actually moving it 2 studs over to make it perfect, but like no, that's too much work.
I still love the eyes and the nose with the big open mouth. I do really like that. Oh, I closed the whole Discord.
No.
Son of a monkey. I can open it back up here. But I can get that back open. So anyway, if they want to find the Lego Space Discord, where should they go, Simon?
Like that's the thing. It like I can share the link. Can we post links on here or
We can. We're not that
does
crazy in here.
I can post it. I can post the link in the Brickworld Discord, which I'm assuming everyone is part of.
You can join that one too. Yes, just join all the Discords.
Yeah, I was like pointing out or thinking like you have so few servers. It's actually kind of cute.
It is super cute, isn't it?
At the same time, it's like the actually also jealous.
I don't have to get into all that other nonsense.
I've
Follow all
I've
that nonsense. This was the
I
problem with new Hashima. I'm not a
so
Discord
I've
guy. I gotta
yeah.
learn it, but I'm not a Discord guy. Look at all
I hit
these
the
hot peoples,
theoretic.
though.
I've hit the theoretical max of how much servers I can join. It's 100, or at least it was. Anyway, yeah. So that's actually the Greeble, and actually the irony is I would need to rework that because it's too greebly for the style of the ship I was going for.
It's too greebly.
It's too greebly. Like the greebles is like my bread and butter, but it's a bit much.
It's a little too much greeble, though.
It's a bit
Got
too
the big old
much.
cannons on there. These the rail guns here that we're
Yes, they're
talking
more
about.
rail. Yeah.
All right.
In my mind, they're more rail gunny.
And is this color here, the yellow color, is this actual yellow or is that the light bright yellow?
Absolutely no. It is bright light orange, of course.
Of
Like
course, it's
these.
bright light orange
Yeah.
because
So.
if you use yellow, you get one of these. Not one of these. One of these. So there's the railgun there on Simon's. Let me solo you.
And I'll give a prequel or preview. Probably not preview. Sorry. So here's the back section
All right.
of the ship. I think we talked about this last time, where the majority of all my ships has this basically perfect 2x2 slot that I slot in Technic and stuff into that works perfectly, and that's how this entire ship module fits. So this is like the rear end where, like you can see, I have the engines, a lot more greeble action. So this is what I did all afternoon, was like the figure out all of this stuff here, and it's getting there. Like it's the 24th. I have, oh man, I have only 1 week left.
5 days plus the photographs, right?
Yeah, I believe we've now said that you can get like an extra day for the photographs.
Oh, well, that'll be useful to me because Saturdays, technically September ends on a Saturday.
Yeah,
Saturday is
that
my worst
sucks.
day, and it's not even close because my kids have both have soccer. My son plays baseball on that day, and my daughter has dance. So Saturdays you'd think those would be your perfect sit down and build a ship days. They are the worst days for me by far.
Like exactly. Like for me, the weekends are the best days because I don't have kids, which means I can sit down and build till like 4 a.m. if I need to.
Yeah.
Versus work days like I'm so tired. But here's the back of the ship that most people don't look like, but like the greebles, I'm pretty famous, and I actually love just like working on that little greeble action stuff,
Yeah.
and just like this piece is like the piece I've been really liking recently. It's a Technic toggle, and it just like works really well to create like some of this like
Yep. Lots of that piece in there. And to
yeah.
think this is oh, and a little bit of swoosh action there and a little bit of swoosh noise in there. This is where you started here. Very designed very similar to how my framing is. It's
Yeah.
Technic frame with some
You
plates
can
on the
still
side,
see
and then you go from
like
there.
that's
Yep.
still the bottom right there. It's like it's just a simple square frame, and then you start building onto it is typically how I do most of my ships. Depending on the ship, the frame might change as I start building it, and like that's probably the most important thing I can recommend to anyone is build something. Don't be afraid to change it. Period. Like if you're thinking about changing it, you probably need to change it. Like there's been times where like and I learned this like over like I guess a decade of shipbuilding now, where I asked like my inner circle, I was like should I change this? Should I not? And almost always they say yes, because I wouldn't ask the question if I wasn't like mentally. It's more I don't really want to change. Like I realized the point where I can be honest. The reason why I ask is hoping that they say no, so I don't have to expend the effort. Because deep down in my heart, I know, yeah, I should probably change this. And like partial timber is like the working under time constraints, like yeah, just change it. If you think you need to change it, you probably need to change it. Don't wait. Don't
So
ask.
I
Don't
had the
need.
opposite problem of you, right? I post all my whips on Flickr instead of the Discord,
Mhm.
and I kind of feel like I should just dump them in the Discord and get my own little thread in here for my
Well,
own whip.
yeah. So why I like that, and like I like Flickr, but the problem with the Flickr is it's so hard to get feedback now. The individual photos are good, but the problem is how many people actually go dive in there. Versus I do like Discord because it is more of a real-time chat, so I get a bit more real-time conversation going. So a good example was like I knew I over Greeble. And if you actually go into that section where I did, and they point out like the Greebles are great. They look awesome, but it doesn't fit the style that the ship is fitting. Like the Greeble itself is good, but it doesn't fit. And like I knew that like deep down. And two of the builders there, which I really respect, point out yeah, it's cool. They're very nice about it. And they're like they sugarcoated, but like they basically said like, yeah, this doesn't
The
fit.
compliment sandwich.
It was the compliment sandwich a bit.
Yeah.
And I can read through that, and like I appreciate that you actually like said basically, yeah, it's cool, but it doesn't fit.
Yeah.
Versus now that I'm like okay, the back part of this kind of fits because it's part of the engine Greeble, but on the top side it should be much cleaner, which is basically kind of their consensus.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to figure out how to work Discord, just add it in there. So what's
Yeah.
the length of your ship going to end up being? It has to be over 100.
Honestly, it's probably about 110, give or take.
Okay.
It's not.
So right at the limit.
It's right at the limit. I'm not being overly crazy about anything, as well as it is like it like sometimes I could skip the gym day because like it is pretty dense, and I am planning to go to Germany and flying with this. So if it doesn't come to Chicago, you can guess what happened. So it is pretty dense, and we'll see. Like it's interesting. So like going back to September, it's actually funny. Like originally my plan for when I created this month was actually not to host it in September. It was originally going to be in April for ShipPro, and it was the super builder from Eurobricks from Norway, Cecilia, that pointed out, what sounds really good? Shiptember. And I'm like, oh right, that does. And it goes back to my very first BrickCon in Seattle, where I won the best ship for a interior hangar scene. And I'm like, what? I subsequently learned that it's very like Chicago's very, very specific and before I continue, Yo, yes, I'm going to Germany. I am going to Bricken, Bavaria. If you are going, let me know. Hook up. We'll chat. But Chicago, the awards are very, very specific. Like a best mech has to be a mech, has to have a pilot. A robot does not does not qualify for that. Versus other conventions like BrickCon, it's much more loose. Like it's the shippiest thing or sci-fi. But I won best ship for not a ship, and I was like, this is pretty BS. And that's why I actually moved it from April to September, because historically, Seattle BrickCon was the first weekend in October, which meant it went from no ships or not enough ships the year I went to the first September. There were 10 ships we counted. There were 10 ships that were built in the last month that showed up there. And ever since then, I've never won best ship again in BrickCon. So I kind of screwed myself, but it was still cool. But that's the roundabout story of why Shiptember is actually in September.
You can bring the Blue Shark to Chicago this year if it makes it.
I'm actually going to bring my other bright light orange. I'm going to bring the triple ship because I don't think because I haven't brought that yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one in person. So
that's my plan, is to bring the triple ship. Yeah.
Well, Simon, let's see here. I am pretty sure we have hit all of the topics.
Oh. Wait. What's next show?
Next show is next week, and it won't be September anymore, though I might have to take pictures that day if the September gods allow me to finish my pictures on Sunday. And I heard it straight from the horse's mouth that I could do that.
Yes, I believe the key is, as long as you show the last whip that shows the ship's complete, there is a 24-hour holiday on actually doing the final photos, final edits, etc., etc.
Yeah, that's the fun part anyway, is getting the final pictures ready and edited, and I can do that. For me, I always forget how to use GIMP. I don't use Photoshop. I use the free version. I always forget how to use it every time before I have to edit a picture and add a background.
Well, so
that's okay.
Yeah, well, and that's the nice thing about the community or the Discord. I'm sure if you asked nicely, someone would take.
They might.
They might take.
I mean, I can do it myself, and I have.
Then they just do it.
But I have. I don't know that all of them are great, but I've managed to get backgrounds on.
I think they've been pretty decent.
So. All right, yeah, and as I had said earlier, we got a couple comments rolling in here. Oh, see, spouse. She was counting on it officially ending in September. She has some projects for me lined up. So if I try to go to October 1st, I might get in trouble. Let's see here. Yes, they're already saying goodbye, even though I haven't officially said goodbye yet. But next show will be next week. Mark should be back, as I announced earlier. A great show in Grand Rapids for him. He said it was the best first show they had ever had in terms of attendance. So very exciting that Brickworld is finding new markets and succeeding. So hopefully we'll continue to be able to find new markets. I'm still convincing Mark that he needs to come to Minnesota. Simon, you basically just decided to make your own show, so you didn't even bother. But
I didn't make it. Graham made it. I just helped run it.
How you helped run the one in Toronto. So, as we always end our show, we always like to remind everyone there are no mistakes, only happy accidents. Our friend Bob Ross told us that. And we'll go out, as we have recently, with a fun little bit from our favorite Into the Blockoverse. Here we go.
I love the here's better than any other one we've seen, because they're not just animated characters added in. They're like flat stickers with white outlines just playing in the pool. It's like, well, you don't get any minifigs, but you could pretend with sticker people. And the sticker people don't even come with the set. They're just, showing you like, what you could pretend that these exciting friends are doing at the Cherry Vitality Beach.
Here's what you can do. Vitality water bar drink to your heart's content, which is definitely excellent grammar. Water curtain door. It opens. That's great. There's a leisure section.
You'd want it to do that.
There's a life-saving observation spot. There's a swim shop. Stand in the observatory to enjoy the breathtaking view. The exciting and funny water slide. Sit in the beach chair and enjoy sunbath.
Sunbath. Yep.
Yes, lockers.
But here's my favorite. The ice cream van, baby. That's a van.
Why is there a fish on it?
That is the coolest van I've ever seen. Yeah, what is that fish for? I have no idea.
Go into the shower room to wash the sand off your body.
Well, it's
Ooh.
a good suggestion.
Ooh, look, they made different flag molds. Or they photoshopped in something and folded it.
Bye, everyone.